I wish you a wonderful welcome to today's program, and it's the 60th of our ongoing series. I'm Hans from Vienna, and I'm most privileged to be your moderator for today. We will be starting with a foot soak, so please get the things ready that you need for the foot soak. If you are new and you're not sure what that is, don't worry, just follow the steps when we are guided through meditation. For those of you who have been in the programs, I think you now have a good idea of what you need. Otherwise, if you're new, if you're the first time here, you can request a breakout room at the end of the program where you can then have an introduction to Sahaja Yoga to get the basics. You can also review all the previous course material we have on the website, and we also have recordings of each session. You'll find the link in the chat. You can also request a mentor if you want more personal guidance. For that, you can fill in the form which is linked in the chat. If you have already requested a mentor, please give us time in case we need to find the right mentor for you, and it doesn't go so fast. As always, in our sessions, we focus on the practical experience. So let's, already even now in the introduction, start taking the opportunity to bring the attention inside. Allow the chakras to open by the Kundalini, and let the silence in our mind increase so we can achieve that state of thoughtless awareness. Last Wednesday, the topic was exactly about that, about not reacting. So that's how do we stay in the state of a silenced mind even when the world around us is rather distracting. Today's topic is about the connection between meditation and health. Now, Sahaja Yoga is not a healing method, so if you're sick, do consult your doctor. But getting into the balance and strengthening our chakras, our energy centers, does have a clear beneficial effect on our physical, our mental, and our spiritual well-being. For today's agenda, we'll have a presenter from England who will introduce today's topic. He will also guide us through a meditation and the foot soak. Then we'll listen to a video of Shri Mataji about this topic. After that, we'll have a short silent meditation to absorb as many vibrations as we can and find the depth. And at the end, we'll have the interactive workshops in breakout rooms. So if you're on Zoom, latest then, if you're on YouTube, latest then switch to the Zoom link, because that's where you can then join these breakout sessions. Now, with that, let's move on to the topic, right? It's quite a fascinating topic. And I'd like to welcome Nicholas from UK, who will guide us through this. There he is. Okay. So welcome, Nicholas, to today's evening, and thanks for taking the time to guide us through this. Could you just introduce yourself? I believe you have presented before, but for those who are here who haven't seen you yet, who are you? Where are you from? What do you do apart from teaching us Sahaja Yoga?
Thanks very much, Hans. Yes, it's a real pleasure to be here with everyone. Um, yeah, I am a professional artist and I've been living in Vietnam for the past 4 months. And I'm currently in the UK, back home, enjoying the change in weather, let's say.
The cold.
So, um, yeah, so actually it was a very sunny day today, so it
Oh,
wasn't too
nice.
bad.
Like Vietnam, you brought the sun.
Yeah.
Right.
Um, yeah, I'm passionate about art. I teach art as well. I do workshops, and yeah, I've found the benefits of meditation over the past 10 years, and it's really transformed my life. So it's a real honor to be here to share and have a collective meditation together.
Great. So thanks a lot, and I'll hand it over and see you.
Beautiful. Okay, well, so I'm going to first talk a little bit about Sahaja Yoga and our health. And then we're going to get into a foot soak. So as I said before, get that ready. As Hans said before, get that ready, and then we'll have a lovely collective meditation together. So as you can see on screen here, you might be familiar with this, but for those have seen this for the first time, this is a map of our subtle system. And there on the right, you have the seven energy centers, the three energy channels, and then you have these colored markings on our fingers, which correspond to those energy centers. And I'll explain about that in a second, but the this is our map. This is our map of our subtle system. Of course, we have a physical system, which is our organs, the nerve bundles within tissue, bones, etc. But on a subtle level, we have this inner system, which is governed by this inner energy within us, this Kundalini, and hopefully we are familiar with this inner energy within. When we become more sensitive, of course, we can start to feel and pick up on the energy as it moves through our system up out the top of our head. Now, I just want to take this time to say that meditation doesn't just have these benefits of inner inner peace, of the of de-stressing, which is a very sort of modern way of thinking about meditation. And what I'd like to say is that when you transform yourself and you allow this inner energy to rise, it has a very transformative effect on our lives in a multi-leveled way, let's say. So I would say that there are very established studies on meditation these days and de-stressing. So that is really alleviating some of the mental issues in our time by bringing a silence within, and that's well established, and we can enjoy that. But Sahaja Yoga meditation is a very experiential meditation, a very practical meditation, as Hans said. And so as we meditate each day over the months, over the years, there are transformations to be enjoyed. And that can be subtle, it can be on those different levels of physical, mental, spiritual. But we are really able to um, experience new things. And I think that's a personal journey for us. So when we talk about Sahaja Yoga meditation and health, we are really talking about getting into balance by balancing our different energy centers, balancing uh, the energy channels, making sure that we are hopefully in the center rather than thinking too much about the past or the future. And then once in that balance, and we are connected to this energy, and we're connected to all things around us, in that space is when we can enjoy these further benefits. So I think over time, the experience of the benefits of our health manifest, and they manifest in personal ways that only really we can feel ourselves. And so that's something to be enjoyed and something to look forward to. Now, let's talk about the subtle system map that you can see. So um, we can start by talking about the energy centers. So we have seven of them: one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, and we go up through the uh, centers as you go up through the body. And you can see there on the hands that they relate. They relate to the centers, these color-coded markings on the fingertips themselves. So you might notice number one. So that's on the center, the below your palm there, almost where it reaches the wrist. We have the first energy center, which is the center of our innocence, also of our humility. Um, and uh, and at each point, you are able to maybe feel it, over a time, maybe even feel uh, a tingling or a numbness or some sort of sensation that indicates to you that there is some sort of imbalance there. And really, we can use this as a tool to understand if there are any imbalances within our centers. So, for example, if you felt something in your in your first energy center, the Muladhara, you might feel something there, little. It could even be a little pinch. It could be tingling. It could be something going on. Then we go to the second there. So that is the center of our creativity. It is below the navel on our body, but it's also on our thumb, in on our hands. And I also maybe at this point it'd be useful to say that some people don't feel so much on their hands to start off with. Maybe you don't feel anything at all, and it might take a while for you to do that, and that's perfectly normal. Maybe you might actually feel something on the centers of your on your body, going up through the centers there. So people have different experiences. Maybe I should also say that we have the same markings and indicators on our feet, and some people might feel it on their feet as well. So there are different ways of experiencing a a blockage on our body. But what I would say is I think it's more common for people to feel it on their hands. So we've spoken about the first one, the Muladhara chakra, center of our innocence. Now, the center of our creativity is our thumbs there. So that's the Swadhisthana. Then you've got the Nabi, which is our third center, so the very middle finger, center of our peace and satisfaction. And on the right side is to do with our attention. Then we go up to the heart, which is the pinky fingers. Um, so that's to do with our sense of safety and security, um, and also knowing that we are our true self. Um, and then we go to our Vishuddhi, number five there. So that's the throat center of our communication, um, and also our witness state, detaching and just being more of a witness. Then we have number six there, you can see in the light blue, our Agya chakra, the center of our forgiveness, making sure that we forgive ourselves and forgive those around us. Some of these you might be familiar with because we ask questions at these points, or we say affirmations when we are going through that introductory meditation together. So some of this might be familiar for you. And finally, we've got the seventh center, the center of our integration, the Sahasrara chakra, which is where we ask for our self-realization, or where we establish our self-realization. So those are all the different centers. I've missed out one there. You might be able to notice, which is one that says 3A, which is actually the void, and that goes around the Sahasrara. And as you can see there on the body, it's this C around our Nabi chakra, um, center of our mastery, and the sea of illusion as well, as we move beyond the illusion into more clarity. So I hope that was just a nice summary for you, just to explain our subtle system. And when you are able to balance yourself and feel the coolness coming out of the palms of your hands, or maybe when you bring your hand up above your head and you feel the energy as well, maybe you are able to feel a coolness, and that's a good indicator that your system is in balance. And if it's not in balance, if there is some heat, or maybe there is a tingling on a particular finger, then you know that there is something to be worked on. Um, Maybe that can be cleared out with a lovely foot soak that we're about to do, or it can be with some other techniques that we have gone through over the course of these sessions. And there's plenty more information that we'll remind you of where to access later. Um, so the idea is that we identify what's affecting us. Maybe we're entering into a crowded place, picking up a few things. Maybe it's our own reaction to something throughout the day. It's been a tough day at work. We feel something on the palms of our hands, and now we want to clear it out. Well, how do we do that? What we want to do really is to just be a witness to it. If something's if something is particularly tingling, uh, for example, the left finger, the left Vishuddhi chakra, center of our communication, but on the left side it's to do. Uh, Sorry, was that to do with our guilt? Um, and what we can do is clear it out by giving a bandana or a protection. So uh, how we do that? Well, what we do is um, we take our finger, or maybe we take the area that it decodes to. So in this case, it is our left Vishuddhi center. And what we can actually do is give ourselves a bandana by clearing out the energy in a clockwise direction, and then releasing that to the earth. So that's in practice, that is sort of doing this, where we use our right hand. We think of it as if we've got a clock on ourselves, and we literally are rotating in a clockwise direction. So think of it as the hands turning in the clockwise direction. We move in that direction, and we actually give ourselves a bandan there. So we can take this principle, this technique, and we'll get into our foot soak. And then I will ask you to clear out at different centers. So I think that will be a nice thing to do together. So why don't we get our foot soaks ready? And if you'd like to go ahead and make sure that it's in front of you, you've got the water and you've got the salt inside, and then you can actually sort of place your attention on the water and just intend that it vibrates. Maybe even place your hands towards it, and just give it some energy. And you can also give it some energy with what we just did together on our Vishuddhi. So that is by rotating in a clockwise direction and energizing the water. So I think if everyone is ready, why don't we go ahead and pop our feet in to the foot soak. And we can start by taking a few deep breaths. Now, one thing to do that is very beneficial for our health to do in our daily practice of meditation when we want to clear away any energy within us is to balance our left and right sides. So, what we can do is place our right hand down towards the earth, and we can just ask within ourselves that this energy remove anything on our left side. So, we're using our right hand as a channel, and we just ask for all the baggage on the left side. So that's anything from the past, any guilt, self-doubt. We can just remove that to the Mother Earth. And then we can bring this hand back. And with our left hand, we can raise it up towards the sky. And we'll just try and use this as um, our channel to clear away everything on the right side. So all the excess heat, overthinking, over planning, we remove that to the ether. And then we can bring this hand back to our lap. So we've cleared the left and the right side. And for those of you meditating at home and doing it on a regular basis, what you may find is it might feel quite heavy at first. And then after these clear outs, just the left and the right side, you might already feel better. You might already feel like you've really cleared something from the day. And what else is a nice thing to do? Well, we can keep going by focusing on specific chakras, specific energy centers, and then clearing out, giving a bandan in the way that we spoke about earlier. So, this is a good time to uh, test your sensitivity, but just to see right now how you feel, and maybe at the end of the session, you can feel again to see if there's a difference. But what's a nice thing to do is place your hands up the level of your chest and keep your attention in that space above your head. But just notice if you feel anything on the palms of your hands. And maybe your hands will start speaking to you, and you'll say, "Oh, I have some tingling in my thumbs. What does that mean?" And you refer to the chart, and that is the center of our creativity, our Swadhisthana. And if they're both doing it, then it's the center. If it's just the left on its own, then it's more the left side of this energy center. And if it's on the right, it's more the right side. So what we can collectively do is give a bandan to our Swadhisthana. So that's just below the navel there. I don't know if you'll be able to see me on screen, but just below the navel, we have that second energy center. And we're rotating around like so. And every so often, we can just release anything we've picked up and release it to the Mother Earth. And then we can go, I feel, a little bit on the heart. So let's go to the heart. And of course, we can say an affirmation together within Mother, I am the Spirit. Or we can say, Mother, I am safe. Mother, I am secure. And we can also give a bandan. And let's go up to the Agya. So this is the sixth energy center, the center of our forgiveness. And we can say to ourselves, Mother, Mother Kundalini, I forgive everyone and I forgive myself. And once again, let's give a bandan to this energy center. So what we're going to do now is get into some silent meditation. But before we finish, we can just, before we start, I should say, we're going to finish with our foot soak. So what I like to do at home is once I'm finished, I'm balanced out, got the energy rotating well, and I'm feeling a bit more cool. What I'll do is I'll just do a final raising of the right hand, bring it up to the top, and I'll bring down the left and right channel. So you actually start, the right side comes up and twists over, and the left side comes up and twists over to the right. So you go from the right, you cross over with the forehead area, and you bring them down. And I quite like to just bring this up and do that maybe 3 times in total. And that's a nice way to finish with a foot soak. So please go ahead and rinse your feet. And just leave it to the side, and you can place that, you can dispose of that later on. So we're going to just spend a few moments together in complete silence. And what we could have done at the start, but what we'll do now is raise our energy, Kundalini, and give ourselves a bandhan. So hopefully you're familiar with this, but what we do is we raise with our left hand out in front of us. We rotate our right hand around it. We start at the base of the spine, and we go up to the top of the head and tie a knot. And we'll do that again, tying 2 knots, and once more, tying 3. And then what we can do is give ourselves a bandana, a protection. So we create this arc over our head from like so, and we bring it back. And we do that 6 more times, 7 in total. Okay, so let's just spend a few moments together. We can close our eyes, try and keep your attention in that space above the head. Lovely. So hopefully we're feeling nice and peaceful, and we'll have another silent meditation. But before we do that, we're going to listen to a talk of Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi, the lady in the photograph who founded this meditation, who and spent well, devoted her life to um, sharing these primordial meditation techniques around the world. and we will listen to an excerpt of her on this topic that we have today.
First of all, people do not understand that you have to work it through your heart and not through your brain. When we have to work out things through our brain, we try to develop our brain, isn't it? By memorizing, by practicing something, teaching our brain how to think, how to go this way, that way. We try to train our brain. Now we have to train our heart in Sahaja Yoga. And to train our heart in Sahaja Yoga, one has to know first of all that it is enveloped either by ego or by superego. The limbic area actually represents the heart. And if there is ego, heart will always be so-called. It will not be the real heart that will be working, but it's only mental projection. And you will feel that I'm doing it from my heart. That's not true. Now then, supposing what should we do if we have ego? You might say you should try to sort of tell yourself that that's not good and this and that and all kinds of mental suggestions or auto-suggestions or the way psychiatrists know that give you suggestions. That's again mental. So that's not the way it is going to work out. We must understand that for that what we have to do is to raise the left side and put it to the right side. There's no other way out. You have to just work it out with your hands. Your hands are working it out and not your brain. So use your hands and the methods of Sahaja Yoga. Now, everyone must have a regular sitting in the water every day. That's important. Every morning you must do your meditation. You have to know that Sahaja Yoga is to be worked out. It is not to be thought out. You just cannot think about it. Whatever you may try to do through your thought, you cannot achieve any results in Sahaja Yoga. You have to use your hands, you have to use your feet, you have to soak your feet in the water because water is the ocean. All these 5 chakras, or say 6 chakras, which are, I say 5 because the one is the Muladhara chakra, which is the 7th, and the topmost is the brain. So in between 5 chakras which are there are to be handled fully with the idea that they are basically made of matter. And these 5 elements constitute the body of these chakras. Now these chakras, if they are to be corrected, we have to correct them by taking out all the problems of these chakras into the elements from which they come. For example, a person who is a very right-sided person, so he has to give a balance by the left side. Of course, raising with the hand is all right, but what about the element? Right-sided person has all the elements which give heat. You can say the light, you can say the fire. So for people who are right-sided, the light is not going to help much. Like if you put the light before the photograph, and those who are ego-oriented people, if you just use the light, it's not going to work out. So what is going to work out is the Mother Earth and the water element, which is cooling. Even ice is very helpful to people who are right-sided. So all cooling effects should be used for correcting your right-sidedness so that you cool it down. Same about food. In food, those who are right-sided people should take to foods which are left-sided, that is carbohydrates, means they should become partly vegetarians or quite a lot of vegetarians, and should eat things at the most like chicken, but not fishes, not seafoods, because they are all hot. That's how you treat your material side of your chakras. Now the left-sided people should use again the Deepa, means the light or the fire, to correct their left side. Also in food, such people should take more nitrogenous, means protein, and foods like that. They should take more proteins. Now, as far as Sahaja Yoga is concerned, the basic thing is Kundalini. And the Kundalini, as I have told you, is the pure desire. Again, listen to it carefully, pure desire. That means all other desires are impure. There's only one pure desire, and that is to be one with the Divine, one with the Brahma, one with God. That's the only pure desire.
We'll now have another silent meditation. So we had the preparation, we had the speech, and now the vibrations that have been generated. We'll simply keep our hands open and see how many vibrations we can absorb through our hands and through our head. Make sure the attention is within, and from within we can just watch ourselves without thinking, and just allow the Kundalini to rise and the vibrations to cleanse us. Let's check our attention again and go deeper into the silence. And now to finish the meditation, we'll give ourselves the bandhan. So for those who are newer, we start with the left hand. I have to hold it high now for the camera, but we start with the left hand in front of the sacrum, around where the belt is. And with the right hand, we make circles around the left as we go upwards. So now I'll start from the sacrum, and we rise with the left hand along the spine, rotate around with the right hand, and then we go above our head and make a knot. So we use our hands to raise the Kundalini. We do that 3 times, so now the second time. And now the third time. Now see what you feel. Sometimes you might feel an increase in vibrations. And now we'll use our hand to give ourselves a protection of the aura. So we keep the left hand with the palm upwards, and the right hand, we like a rainbow. We go up the left side, over the head, and down the right side of the body and back. That's 1 time, and we do that 7 times. And let's just, after the bandhan, it's good just to take a moment to bring the attention within again, see if the vibrations have changed. And if we do that in the morning before we leave the house, and the evening after meditation before we go to bed, quite a useful practice. You can also use your hands to balance yourself. If you are feeling lethargic and tired, or you feel your left hand is crippling, you can use your hand to raise the right and bring down the left. On the other hand, if you're overactive and overheated, you can use your hand to raise the left and bring down the right. So you can balance your channels also with using your hands. So the hands have an actual effect. It's not just symbolic, they actually work. So with that, many thanks for joining. We'll have a few announcements, but I think before that, just make sure we have the breakout rooms. So if you are on YouTube, switch over to Zoom, and then you can join a breakout room. And other than that, I wish you a pleasant time in the breakout rooms, and have some good interaction, some good tips, how to go deeper, ask questions, maybe also work on each other. And other than that, I'll go through the announcements for the end of the session. So session 61 on Wednesday will be being in Sahasrara. And that's an interesting one because that's really the destination. You'll have seen that we often, we put the hand here, we bring the attention up here. So if you can be in Sahasrara, everything else pretty much sorts itself out. So that's a very worthy session to join, as are all of them. Okay. So next session, Monday, September Right, so these sessions have been started on the 22nd, going up to November the 5th. So every Monday, Wednesday for 7 weeks. We will be starting another series, but we'll announce that later on. If you want a mentor to get some more personal support, fill in the form. We sent the link in the chat. And there's also a WhatsApp group, which you can join, I think from this QR code, otherwise from the link. And there you get some updates, some reminders. And of course, we have the website where we have all the recorded sessions and the handouts and those things. And now I think good time to get into the interactive workshop. Ask your questions. I'll also be there, so feel free to join us then in the breakout room. I wish you a pleasant evening.